Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wine Take Wine. Glad you could join me. It's t-shirt weather here in southern Sweden. Let's not waste any more of our precious moments. Better, let's get at her. What do we got in the glass? Very, very pale as you can see. Makes sense, it's a very own wine. Some grassy notes and maybe a little pineapple and an undercurrent of lemon. A bit harsh, a little caustic, almost alcoholic. It isn't. It doesn't have the depth that alcohol might, in a deeper, richer type of Chardonnay might have. It's a food wine, maybe with a sandwich, or it could be with some salty, an oyster, perhaps. It's almost like a sizzling mouthfeel to it, making a lot of noise, and there's a bit of fireworks, but flavor-wise, it's okay. That's about it, really. It's a Vézelay from, this producer is Montanet-Thoden. I've never heard of it. Vézelay, it's 2022 Chardonnay, obviously, because this is Burgundy. Vézelay is a town in Burgundy. Beautiful town, actually. If you're in that part of the world, there's a really, really old church on top of a hill where the knights used to gather before they go trampling through the Middle East type thing. So it's got a lot of history to it. It's a very pleasant way to spend an afternoon. The vineyards they were cultivating at the bottom of the hill. I did see vines there when I was visiting. I've never really gone out of my way to try a bottle of Vézelay. I wouldn't spend a ton of money. They're cheap and cheerful wines. If you see them at lunch, you might as well give one a try. But beyond that, let's leave Vézelay behind and move on to wine number 2. What do we got in the glass? Look at that. Almost purple color right there. No, not almost purple. It is purple. And here we've got a beautiful, beautiful, also a little grass, but in the most pleasant way. And then this very rich, deep, almost malty licorice and salt. Almost Syrah-like presence, really. And almost Syrah-like effect in the mouth too. It's very, very saturating. This is a very dense wine. Has some tannin to it. I don't foresee it as a huge problem. They're very fine tannins. Maybe too fine in a way, because if that's such a possible, because it's more of a drying effect right now. I think this will come around lovely in some years. But there's a depth to this wine that it didn't have last year, and that I'm very, very excited about now, because I'm very pleased that it's come this far in so short amount of time. A bit plummy and blackcurrant, just a great mouthfeel though. That's what I like the most about this wine, and I really like its depth. I feel like it's almost taking a little bit of a trip. And it's going to have a lot to give, but you can open it now and enjoy the sunshine of this, because it's sprouting sunshine everywhere. And this is this bottle, the Trezellières from Domaine Closiers. If you did watch any of my previous videos, you've seen that I did a 2019, the first vintage of this, and I had some notes and some thoughts on Domaine Closiers. This is their top bottling, and I think for now we should be sticking to their top bottlings, although I haven't tried the Gevrey, for instance, in 2020 or 2021. So I can't really compare it, but I can compare these two, the Trezellières in both vintages, and I am going to stick to their top tier wine as much as possible, in the short term at least. I think these are going to get really popular. I really do. I said it last year. I'm going to say it again this year. This is a great find. There aren't that many in Loire, unless you're a Loire nut. If you really like that style of wine, then I think it's a real playground, and the price is right, and what a wonderful passion to have. But if it's something that you kind of like the style of every once in a while when it's a top quality wine, the producers are few and far between. And as you might recall, Domaine Closiers has some big names behind it. There's not much more I can say about this. I just want to drink it without talking. And green and darkness. I'm telling you blind too. I bet you could get some people, if it weren't for the tannin, to kind of go Syrah. Just because of the depth of it and that inky sort of licorice. Great. Let's move on. What do we got in the glass? Very different color now. A little paler, a little bit more see-through. Not breaking, but a little beigeish inner, especially on the outer edge. And this is a beautiful strawberry, wild strawberry nose. And then a bit of the cellar funk That's okay. It's not distracting in any way. It's just, it's there. So you acknowledge it. You could argue it's a more of a mushroomy type thing for some people. I still think it's a cellar tone, but very funny. You know, maybe this is a little too chilled. What a lovely wine. This is very, very good. It's also a bit, it's 2013. So it's got 10, 11 years. It should be rounding into 4 soon. There's some biscuits there. The strawberry nose is everything. I think on the palate, I still need some time. Need some time to resolve. It's a bit high acidity. Strange for that vintage, but not so much for the Climat, for Poissenot, because it's quite a fresh, zippy style of wine in general, but some seriousness to it as well, right? Some heft to it. This is a very well-structured wine. All kinds of class in this. Unfortunately, I think the structure right now is a little bit overwhelming. I have chilled this down a bit, and maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have had it a bit warmer. I expect later in the day that this will really blossom out and sort of surprise me with how gentle it can treat me. I'm worth it. Yeah, so those are the 3 wines we had for this week. Of the 3, the one I'm most excited for is the Closiers. The Jadot Poissenot, I really enjoyed it. And I got it at auction, so I got it for no money. Compared to Poissenot releases, these days it's much cheaper than a modern release. Nobody really wants 13 in Burgundy. Prices were lower back then, so when they go to auction, they're unsellable. I was the only bid, which I think is a shame in one way, and then I'm thrilled in the other way, of course, right? I don't need the competition. I want to drink all the great ones. That's it for this time. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you again real soon. If you have a question, use that there. Comment box down below. Subscribe if you think it's worth getting more of these videos every once in a while. I appreciate you watching. Hey, stay thirsty.